Hello everyone and welcome to the 2023 Marie Claire Hair Awards. Today I'm talking to Nicola Clarke, Creative Colour Director at John Freida and celebrity colourist, to talk about how to get into the hair industry, why mentoring and good leadership is crucial, and also how to communicate with the younger generation about the success that you can find in hair, and that hairdressing is a career of rich opportunity. So hi Nicola, lovely to see you today. Thank you so much for chatting to me. So let's start with getting into the industry. So firstly, if someone wants to become a salon hairstylist or colorist or a session stylist, what would you say was the best way to get started? I know we talk a lot about becoming an apprentice.
So I think the best way that I think is to research the kind of hairdressers. It's so easy with Instagram to be able to sort of see what kind of hair, what kind of vibe that you feel like you're, leaning to.
Yeah.
Find what I suppose you think that your tribe might be.
Yeah.
And then I would go around to each one of those salons, write a little something about yourself, maybe a tiny little resume. Obviously you're not going to have worked anywhere else, so it just shows a little bit of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But I think that's the main thing, is to know where you feel like you might want to go. Maybe get a little bit of advice from, maybe find out if there's anybody that you know that's in the kind of industry that they've heard anything, and then I would go to those places, because we get people come in and it's just about having enthusiasm, and that's what will get you a job in a salon. I mean, most salons are crying out for assistance.
Yeah.
So it'll be very rare that you won't get the opportunity to get the job. So I think the more enthusiasm that you show and timekeeping.
Yeah.
If you're going to say that you're going to turn up to meet somebody, be there that day at that time.
Yeah. So would you say then an apprenticeship is a really good route into hairdressing?
Well, it's the only route that I did for myself, and so many of my other friends did in the hair industry. But nowadays, probably there are more routes, but I would say it's a really, really amazing foundation. It's an amazing foundation to get you started in the hair industry, and also as well to meet people, and not just other hairdressers, but clients, and to meet the sort of general public and to learn how to deal with them, because you're going to need those skills even if you go into film work, or if you go into session hairdressing, or maybe just even if you just want a sort of Instagram career.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. So what type of person do you think you need to be a hairdresser?
I mean, I think, I think the thing is I think anyone can give it a go, as in anybody can, go into that kind of like apprenticeship. But I think what you really need is, and you'll find out really quick as soon as you start hairdressing, is dedication, hard work, and patience.
Yeah.
And and then the creativity. I mean, obviously if you're a creative person, that's a no-brainer, because we're in a creative world. But you can learn to be creative. I mean, obviously some people are going to shine more than others, but creativity, dedication, and hard work, it's a hard job.
Yes. Yeah. So what's your favorite part of your job, Nick?
I mean, the reason why I got into hairdressing was it was a long time ago, so there wasn't that many options, but I knew that I, as a school leaver, I wanted to be a creative person.
Yeah.
And hairdressing was a foot in the door to get to so many other things: photography, makeup, all those things. And I just thought to myself, if I want to travel the world, which is what I wanted to do as a young person, I just thought, if I have a skill and I learn how to do hair, I'm not necessarily going to have to be able to I don't need to learn a different language necessarily, and I will always be able to make money wherever I go, whether it be traveling on a beach or, jetting off to, New York and working in the city, I knew that I would be able to earn money and have a skill. And the main thing for me when I was, I suppose, 15, was my goal was to be respected by my peers. And I knew who my peers were. I looked up to people like Sam McKnight, Eugene Solomon, Guido. And that was the main thing for me as a young person, that I was involved with those people. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew that I wanted to be respected by those people because they were who I respected. So I got a job in a hair salon, local hair salon in Essex, and I knew that when I left school that I wanted to work in London. And that's not necessarily the case these days. You don't have to go into a city, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be respected by my peers. So that was the main thing for me, and be around a creative bunch of people.
Yes. Yeah. Amazing. So if one of your apprentices wanted to get into that area, that line of work, into session styling and colouring, how would you mentor them into that?
I think the thing is what we do is we take someone on, and they're on obviously like a period of time where we know whether we fit with each other. And then they go into the training scheme, and they learn how, like, the basics. And then as they start to it's as simple as like learning how to shampoo.
Yes.
You know, dealing with a client, taking them from the front of the salon to the backwash, and dealing with them and putting them in your chair. So once they've mastered that, which you would think a pretty easy thing to master, then, you know, we would start doing meeting with other like session hairdressers, and maybe suggesting that they would go on shoots with them. So it's kind of like a process. You learn how some people learn really quickly, like how to deal with clients, and that are really good with like clients. And it's as simple as that. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best hairdresser or the best, you know, blow dryer or cutter. It might be the way that they are as a person and how they deal with people. So
would you say
it's all different ways. It's all different ways. It's until we trust that person and we know that they can go out of the salon and represent the salon how we present ourselves.
Do you ever take apprentices with you to assist you on shoots?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, not always, because sometimes, you know, like, you know, Lisa, like sometimes there's situations where it's quite a tight, small little crew. But there's plenty of times, like, you know, I've taken people to Dubai with me, to New York. I mean, I can't even think of all the places that we've been to, but, you know, sometimes it's just down the road, you know. It depends. The thing I think with hairdressing is that it's all those things aren't as glamorous as you think they are. So you have to have like guts and a bit of determination. So, you know.
And so it is a lot to do with your personality. So do you feel like you have to have confidence to get into the job?
No, because I don't think I was confident because I knew what I wanted to do. That's where my confidence were. I wasn't a confident person. I wasn't like, I mean, I suppose I was like maybe the one that might be at the front of the class or something like that, or maybe even if I stood behind, but I was making sure I was concentrating. But you have to have a certain level of confidence because you have to speak and present yourself with people. But that's what we teach you to do in the salon as an apprentice. You know, you learn those things. You know, it's quite an intimate thing, shampooing someone's hair. So when you're 15 years old and you're for the first time touching stranger's hair, you know, so we teach you those things. You learn the confidence, but it's also great to have a little bit of confidence.
And would you recommend going into a salon instead of going from a course maybe in a college straight into freelance session styling? That's not really possible, is it? I guess.
Well, you know, there's over the years I've met lots of different people, and you know, some of like one of my best friends he went to art school and he trained as a sculptor, and he started assisting Sam at night, and he went in that way. Didn't even have any particularly hairdressing skills, but he was a talented, creative person, and he moved from sculpture in materials to sculpture in hair. So it's not, that's not, there is obviously, I think there's rules and regulations now where you have to have MBQ and all those kind of things and go through college. But, you know, I think it's like, it's one of those things, it's an amazing job. It's one of the most amazing jobs to be in, I think. But then I'm completely biased. But it's got me all over the world, and you know, meeting journalists and makeup artists and photographers and lawyers, and you know, like, it's just an amazing job.
Yeah, it's really broad, isn't it? But also do you feel like in a salon you're such a tight team as well, and you know that each other's going to support each other, and I just love that especially about your salon, actually.
I mean, I think, you know, I'm a colorist, you know, that's my main job. So I feel like the color team tend to, like, we get into the corner and we, you know, like, question each other about formulas. And yeah, I think it's nice to be part of a team so that you can bounce things off. What I find is when someone's an individual, I think sometimes, not that it's a bad thing and it's a great thing and people love doing it, but I think you miss this kind of camaraderie that you get in the salon and sharing formulas and sharing ideas. Now that there's Instagram, there's more chance that you can share those formulas with one another. It's much easier. But there's just certain skills that I think you learn within the salon.
Yeah. I was going to say, actually, do you recommend social media to your team? I mean, some people might not have the personality to sort of be an extrovert on social media, but do you recommend that they create their own brand? Or
I mean, I don't think I've necessarily got the personality for Instagram. So I'm not like some of my peers that go on and, you know, talk about what they're doing in their life and stuff. And that's great. And I love watching, you know, my friends like that do those things. I love it. But I think you gear your Instagram to you. And I think the thing is that I think nowadays is that we do look at people's Instagram and see what they're doing and whether they're putting their work on. And so I think it is nice to, whether you want to present yourself as a personality and add in your work, then that's great. And if you just want to present your work, that's also great. Or if you don't want to do that and you just want to present your inspiration, you know, that's also a great way to see how someone, their personality and their likes and dislikes. That's also, you know,
it is a good way of getting clients in, isn't it? Sort of.
Absolutely,
yeah. And so it's not just about mentoring in terms of the technical skills and getting into session styling, but it's also about sort of, I always feel like salons are very sort of caring to people's mental health as well. So, and I think that's quite a big part of being in a salon as well, where you're sort of looking after each other.
100%. I mean, I've been hairdressing for a long time, so I've had relationships with my clients, you know, for a long time. But I think people tell you things that they wouldn't necessarily tell their friends or maybe their family. It's one of those things where, you know, you, like I say, you are intimate with someone, you're touching them, you're touching you know, it's like you're touching them, it's like it's such an intimate thing. So you do end up talking about things that maybe necessarily you couldn't talk to, you know, siblings or friends, you know, and bounce those things off of your hairdresser before it goes further, you know, see what their reaction is.
Yeah. And just one final thing then, Nick, is so if there's apprentices want to be apprentices watching this now, what would you say to them? Would you say just to walk into the salon then if they
I mean, people get in contact with me on Instagram, they email they walk into the salon, you know. I think it's pretty easy to get hold of people, and most people are watching hair and beauty, you know, don't. What I would suggest is don't think that you're not wanted. It doesn't matter how big a salon and how intimidating you think that it will be. It's not like that. Honestly, you know, I find that some people think that it might be a bit intimidating to approach someone or even to email someone. Do it. All I say is do it. If you don't do it, then you don't get, as what my nan would say.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Oh, thank you, Nick. No, thank you so much. It's been really inspiring talking to you, as always.
Yeah, you too.
Oh, thanks, Nicola.